Well, first, I want to thank Michael Moore and Laura Ricci for inviting me to be at this presentation. And it's very important for us to share something that we have been living for some years. And I am graduated in History and Language Arts and Master and Doctor in Education, and from Universidade de São Paulo in São Paulo. And 7 years ago I moved to Curitiba to work for a university as a professor of master program. And then 3 years ago I was invited to make some changes in a model of distance education for teacher development program in an institution that is part of a group. Well, this group today is called UNINTER, and it has IBPEX, that is an institution that provides specialization for teachers around Brazil. They have been providing these courses for 12 years, taking teachers to the interior of the country where they don't have faculty, colleges or universities, to prepare these teachers in continuing education. In 2003, they started face-to-face programs as pedagogy, law, administration, language arts, and communication. And in 2005, they decided to start a program on teacher development, preparing teachers for elementary school, the 4 first years of elementary school. And in 2005, the government signed the guidelines for pedagogy course. After 8 years of studies, of discussions, they finally signed it, and we prepared a project for pedagogy course. And since 2007, our students from teacher development for primary school teachers migrated to pedagogy course. And I'm going to talk to you a little about this program. Well, I believe a lot in distance education because my mother helped my father to grow up 10 children after studying sewing in distance education. My husband...
is that a recommendation or is that a warning?
My husband studied electronics when he was 12 years old in the Instituto Monitor, one of the first of distance education programs. He also studied engineering in international schools. And so in 1992, I met Professor Lito, Frederic Lito, and who is the president of Associação Brasileira de Educação à Distância. And we started working together in distance education, teachers development. And I would suggest Michael Moore to include in his lists in 1994, 1996, the creation of Associação Brasileira. And because this year we have the 14th International Conference.
But you're going to make an input to the museum in Second Life.
Yes.
That's the idea, is that people will tell us the things.
All right. So, first of all, my colleagues and I set some educational principles we believe are important. Accessibility, intentional communicative social interaction that we translate as dialogue, collaboration overall, non-linear learning, because we are non-linear people, responsibility for one's own learning, that I call autonomy, and self-assessment. So these educational principles are very important, not only for distance education, for any kind of education. Well, this is the map of Brazil with the polos of FACINTER, Faculdade Internacional de Curitiba. So you can see that there is a kind of concentration in Paraná, whereas FACINTER is in the capital, headquarters in Curitiba. But we have study centers spread all over Brazil. And we have a site that, this is the site for tutoria online, that is the tutorship site, the tutorship page. The infrastructure we have, so we had a satellite communication. Our coordination is in Curitiba, and from there we manage all the country. Via satellite, we have the polo reception on TV. We contact with tutors and the managers and the students via webmail. We are just introducing this in the graduation course, the undergraduation. We have some more with the graduation course. We have the learning environment. Now we have, now 1 year ago we started with a learning environment based on Claroline, and we have videotaping of the classes to send to the students if they miss a class, or if the tutors wanted to review the class, and book delivery, that is the basis for the course. So the structure of pedagogy course is a little different. We don't have a first year, second year, third year. We have 14 learning thematic units. Each unit is closed in itself. So we have 4 subjects, or as you say, courses, connected in one axis. And our methodology, we have teleclasses, real-time synchronous teleclasses, guided activities, educational research at local kindergarten and elementary schools. That is, every Monday or every Friday, the students are in the study centers and they interacted with students who are speaking or who are talking to them and with them from the pole from the headquarters in Curitiba. And during the week, they have to set some periods of contact with the tutors to have their activities prepared. They have to prepare these activities in groups. We have one of the bases is that teamwork. And they have to go to school and to see what in real school here, a real elementary school, things are happening. So the distance education principles we believe in and we use there. And we have this undergraduation distance program, articulation between the didactic model axis, didactic structure, learning, and learning evaluation. When we call learning, we say self-learning. Self-learning of the students, self-learning of teacher self-learning, and designer self-learning, because as we work, we believe that everybody is learning together. So this is a little confused, but I think that you can see that. So we have the teachers that are authors. They are authors. They go to the studio and they teach, and they have tutor hours. So the same person writes the book, teaches the teleclasses, and has some moments, 2 hours or 4 hours in the week, to answer students. even through 0800 telephone, via chat or web radio. And the learners, they have to contact with each other in the moments of preparing activities. So students are responsible for their self-learning. They interact with, acknowledge with the teachers and with the teaching material. When teachers are writing their materials, they have an orientation to, well, chapter 1 is teleclass 1, chapter 2 is teleclass 2. So while teaching is writing the material, they are figuring out what is the question my student would ask. So the teacher prepares the material in a dialogue way, in a conversational way. So that's why we need teachers who are really teachers, right? We cannot, when we were called to the institution, we realized that they used to call stars, teachers stars, we call this, or lecturers or doctors, very important in the research. And when the teachers came to the studio, they used to give lectures. And the teachers and the students at the center, study center, didn't understand anything. So we realized that there was a very big distance, what you call transitional distance, right, Mike? So we want teachers who really teach, who have contact with teachers face to face, who knows what students want to know. And learning evaluation. The evaluation is also prepared since the moment, since the very moment when teachers are preparing their materials, their didactic materials. So when I prepare chapter 1 and when I prepare virtual material for chapter 1, I propose some activities for evaluation of reflection on that, for practical application on that knowledge they are constructing. So we say that we have a summative and formative evaluation. Summative, the final test that the government requires, that all the students are at the same time in the same place, but we designed this evaluation in a way that students continue studying, continues learning while they are answering their questions. And we have a formative evaluation when they prepare their portfolio, completing the assignments every teleclass is proposed. So the students have to carry out activities, reflective activities, and practical activities. Practical activities, they have to be in groups of 4 and go to a school, and if they are studying, for example, methodology on teaching social studies, they have to go to elementary school and to see how teachers are teaching social studies. What teachers in the real schools are doing, what are their problems, and besides studying the fundamentals, the theory, they can bring to discussion the problems or suggestions they have about that. This portfolio is evaluated by the local tutor. And they have, at the final of every teaching unit, they have a learning production. What is a learning production? It's the synthesis of their studies during that unit. So if we have 4 disciplines, 4 subjects, we have a theme that is common to the 4 subjects, and they have to prepare 8 to 14 pages, synthesizing all the knowledge they have together from the lectures, from the readings, from the teleclasses, and from their practical activities. So this model takes in consideration the knowledge sharing and the dialogical teaching practice. The dialogical teaching practice starts at the starting point of the choice of the teachers. So when we decide a thematic unit, a learning thematic unit, and we choose the teachers, we join the teachers, they talk to each other, and then they start writing their teaching materials. So the thematic unit must be presented to students as a thematic unit. It is not easy, right? After 2 years of putting this into practice, this unit now is the first time we have this really achieved, right? Because sometimes the teachers, they talk, but they don't understand to each other. Sometimes they talk with the coordinator, but when they get in front of the camera, they teach each one his way or her way. But after talking and preparing and bringing the students' needs and the students' reactions, we got to the point. We have today 17,000 students having pedagogy course at the same time, and we have a very good result, which is being shared by the tutors. When we talk about learning, we talk about students' autonomy, interaction with learning materials, teachers, and tutors, and above all, collaborative teamwork. Also, with the students, it's not easy to have collaborative work. Most want to do by themselves. To do by themselves means that they have not to talk to the other. They may go to the internet and copy and paste. And this is the most one of the important thing is the evaluation, because we have self-assessment and auto-assessment through the portfolio and the learning production.
I'm going to interrupt you, but that's such an interesting comment you make. And it's been said here today, well, in our cultures, we like to talk to each other, and it's true, of course. But research and experience is showing that although it's wonderful having the technology that permits learner-to-learner interaction, what students want most is content, and what they want second is communication with an instructor. And they like talking to each other, and they will work together if you make them work together and if you give them a grade for working together. But we tend to be a bit too romantic about this idea. A few heads are nodding, you know. So I'm glad you make the point, and let me interrupt, because I think we're getting an important understanding here.
Yes, because we used to say that there are three points: interaction, cooperation, and collaboration. So we have many people interacting to each other. Then we say, good morning, good afternoon, how are you, right? And we have students interacting in class to say general things. Then we have cooperation, when the teacher puts students together and say, well, you are going to be the coordinator of the group, you are going to be to report things, and you are going to be the presenter. And the third moment, and it's very, very difficult to get it, is the collaboration. because collaboration, the group must be together because they want to be together, and they themselves choose what roles each of them is going to play. So collaboration is something that we wanted to achieve. But we have to train students and to train teachers, because not students, teachers don't work collaboratively. So how can we have students working collaboratively if we teachers don't collaborate to each other? So this is an important thing when every week we as teachers come to the studio and say to students, well, take your books. At page so and so you have their activities. Join with your colleagues. And every class we have to say that. And just to tell you, I don't know how much time I have, but just to tell you something very interesting is that we had a specialization course for tutors a year ago. And we have 800 tutors enrolled. We have 300 teachers, 300 tutors that are teachers. They are undergraduate in pedagogy. And they, from 800, just 300 did the first test, the first examination. And just 69 from 800, just 69 finished the course, completed without having to redo any part of the course. And 50 of the 800, 50 final scientific article. We asked them, not a monography, but a scientific article. 50 scientific articles were copied and pasted from internet. This was terrible, because it is mean that if tutors do that, what students can do? So we accompany this work. And when I say learning production, last learning unit, we received 80,000 learning productions. And we have 40 teachers to read and evaluate every page of the 80,000 productions and return them to students. And we say, you copy this from site so and so, right? And the tutors who copy it, they failed the course. Not they failed the production. They failed the course because this must be educative. But something that astonished me is that some colleagues say that I am punitive. I said, no, I am not punitive. I am educative, right? Because if tutors copy, they cannot be tutors, right? So this is something that is not easy. I am very, I am an addict of distance education. I believe on this experience, and here you can see some of our the studio and the simulation of some of our study centers, and now we are starting making them to communicate to each other. And just to finish, I want, for example, we have best practices in the tutoria online. So this one is an experience that the tutors, a good tutor, right, an efficient tutor, send to us something they have. This is a course for tutors in one of the parts we had. And there is another one here I want to show you. Education. This is a group study. They develop in Paranavaí, Paraná, right? So when this is a real study center, and when they do a good practice, they send it to us, and we communicate in our tutoria online page. I think that I have.
Very good. You've had exactly enough time.
Okay.
That's
Thank
perfect.
you very much.
Perfect. Thank you.